Mike. David Moore, Dallas Morning News. We talked to you the other day. You were talking about, coming off a difficult division loss and the emotional turnaround that you have. Especially now, you have an opponent that's struggling. You don't see often potential of that coming back. I mean, how do you balance not getting? You talk about a trap game or whatever. Is this potentially a trap game, or how do you view that whole concept?
I mean, no. First of all, I don't view it as a trap game. I think it's just like anything. This is the day where you go back and review, some things of self-scout wise coming out of the last contest, Sunday night. So you start that approach and frankly, jumping into the Lions. I think it was the last time. We haven't played these guys in a number of years, and last time I think it's 19, and they have 6 players on their roster since then. So, this is a prime example of what an uncommon opponent looks like. So, and then you put up the numbers. This is an offense that's had an extremely productive season so far, and if you look at their players and offensive line, the running backs, the perimeter, the quarterback. So this is a extremely challenging offense for us. And then you dive into their defense, and they're doing some things unique on defense that we just haven't seen much of this year. So and special teams may be their best. Maybe the best unit we competed against so far this year. So that's the reality of this league. We don't fall into the trap of looking at the record. We spent some extra time as a coaching staff. That's why we brought the players in later today. Really, with the Sunday night game and all that factors in too. So, we just wanted to make sure we had plenty of time on the front end to make sure that we were ready for the Lions, because this is a unique challenge for us. Division games, are obviously fun to play in, super competitive. But there's a commonality to it. You know each other fairly well, and but we're completely on the other side of the fence.
Do you look for things? I know you said that you can't always tell how a team's going to perform by the way it practices, but do you look after coming off a divisional showdown game like that? Do you look for certain things and how guys engage in practice and sessions, or to see if are they really ready, or are they over this? Or?
Yeah, you look at everything. It's on and off the field, professional and personal. I think it all adds up. Everything matters. This game is so much about the details and the discipline, and especially coming out of some of the mistakes that we made Sunday night. It's definitely a heightened awareness and urgency in that area. So yeah, you pay attention to everything. I always have.
Before we start talking, can you give us an update on Dak did yesterday, today, and the plan for tomorrow? Did he check some more boxes off?
Yeah, definitely. Dak's been cleared medically to be a full participant. He did some work yesterday. Monday was more of a regeneration day for him. Did some throwing yesterday. Today, the goal is to go through we're having a mock game, 70-play mock game at 4 o'clock, and then he'll have a workout after that with the perimeter players, and we'll probably throw somewhere between 40 and 50 balls.
And tomorrow he will go full.
Tomorrow will be a normal Thursday, so it'll be full practice, obviously, as he comes out of today.
Brad Sham, Cowboys Radio. In what way are their special teams the best you've faced?
Well, you look at the personnel, the linebackers. They have experience. I think I have 4 linebackers with 4 years, in the 4th and 5th year. So this is going to be an electric, challenge for us. I just know visiting with John and Stu, that they're very, very impressed with them. Start Monday night when we have our preliminary meeting, and this is a good challenge for us.
Hey Mike, Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. You speak about uncommon opponents. Obviously, in your coaching experience, you've gone against running backs that can be a dual threat, somebody like DeAndre Swift, and the Lions have a tandem there with Jamal Williams and Swift. Can you talk a little bit about how you contain a guy like that who's also a receiver out of the backfield? Yeah,
definitely. It's a great combination. Thunder and lightning, whatever you want to call it. I know our defensive coaches are looking at it that way, and Swift's had some dynamic runs so far this year. He can finish the runs. Jamal, personally, was one of my favorite guys to coach. He'll go down as one of the best teammates that I've seen in this league in the last in a long time. So, and he's a complete back. he does everything very well. Just a super instinctive player, excellent pass protection, good receiver. So I think these two guys complement each other very well.
Mike, Todd Archer with ESPN. Do you anticipate Dak coming in and taking the first team reps, splitting in with Cooper? How do you look at that right now?
He'll take the majority of the first team reps today.
And if all goes well, the same?
Yep, just try to keep moving if we can. Yep.
Skylar Dixon with DAP. I guess a slightly shorter week, technically, with not a full Wednesday workout. How does that impact things with Dak when he's been out that long as you decide whether he's going to play Sunday? Does it matter much?
That's a good point. I mean, it's not ideal, but we played Sunday night. We got back 4 in the morning. I mean, I think the longer you do this, I've over-practiced teams in the past, as a younger head coach. You do what you have to do. Now, I mean, I think if you were out there Sunday night, he had a full workout, in Lincoln, in Philadelphia, and so we're doing everything we can to make sure that we're giving him an opportunity to be ready. So we'll do the same thing today.
Mike Newey Scruggs, NBC5 Dallas. Just following up on what you said here, what are things that you, as a head coach, need to see from Dak this week to make you feel comfortable?
Well, I mean, number one, just stay clear, medically, which everything has been excellent to date, and then just the time clock. He's just got to get his timing back. So I mean, I think like any player that comes back from return to play, there's a medical clearance, but then there's the timing component, regardless of your position.
Anybody else?
John Machado, The Athletic. James Washington, how close do you think he is to returning?
Getting close. That's part of the reason why we took him to New York. He's not full yet. He's not. But I don't have a timeline for you. But I just know Britt feels really good about him. He's making progress.
And then what about with Terrell Basham?
Terrell Basham will practice today. Yeah. He will start the clock. Yep.
Mike, a team develops an identity. Obviously, Dak's a huge identity of this team, but it developed a little differently while he was out in some ways. How do you always, is there a transition there for when a player's been out for an extended period of quarterback and the team develops maybe a little differently than what it was the last time he was in? Or does a guy recognize that and just go, you just plug him back in and go?
I mean, when you say identity, are you talking about how we play schematically, or I'm not sure what you're asking me.
I know there's an emphasis in the offseason you're going to run the ball more, but this team is running more than it has with Dak at quarterback for a while, and really in that first game too, the way it unfolded. Just anything with that, just play calls. I mean, not switching out into pass game when you have a run call, that sort of thing. Is there a transition period on that? Or?
I mean, I don't see us playing much differently than we played. I mean, just the thing you want to do is just stay on course of what we need to improve on. We need to improve our first down production. So our numbers are down. You just start with play count. We need to get the play count up. So how do you do that? You get more first downs. I think we had 21 in Philadelphia, but we need to keep converting to maybe get I like what the run numbers are, but you like to get some more opportunities in the passing game for our perimeter players too. So I mean that's the formula for balance. Balance usually comes over a course of just one game when you're productive both running and throwing the football. So we have been productive pretty much running the football, and I thought our guys did a nice job Sunday night. We broke a ton of, Tony and Zeke and even Terp, I think were 16 broken tackles in the game. So, those are the things we want to continue to build on. But, we do definitely need to get more production in our pass game, and that will come with, more production on first down and higher conversion rate on third down.
Mike, with Damone Clark, I think this is his last week of practice. How's he looked, and what are your thoughts on him going forward?
Damone looks really good. You can see he's getting more and more comfortable each week. It'll be good to get him another padded practice Thursday, but I really like the progress he's making.
Is he a guy that you see can impact special teams first?
I think he would definitely start there. Yeah, I think it's a natural progression.
Mike, Haley Sutton, DallasCowboys.com. What's your relationship with Dan Campbell, if you have one, and what challenges, I guess, does he bring with that offense?
I don't know Dan. Remember him as a player, liked the way he played. Definitely aware of his, coaching history and pedigree. I think he's like the way his team plays, and that's about as much as I know about him, personally. But I like the energy that he brings to the football, culture that he's establishing up there, and and you can see it in their players. And so I think he's done a lot of really good things.
All right. Well, John?
You obviously had a lot of games when you were in Green Bay against Detroit. Is there any maybe play, game, anything that stands out from all those times that you were able to play against them?
Just a game or a play you're looking for?
I mean, obviously you guys had a lot of success, so I don't know that.
I've always enjoyed playing there. I thought it was. I can remember the first time going into their new stadium. I thought it was unique. I always really enjoyed it because it's just like our Cowboy fans there is usually 60%. 60% fans in your favor, so that was kind of nice. But no, I mean it's. I think Detroit's an excellent sports town. I've had a chance to go there for hockey games and baseball games, and but I've always enjoyed competing against these guys.
Do you feel like you're the Packers coach again with fourth grade NFC North opponents?
Not at all. No.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Dad.